Hello everyone and welcome to another video on the channel. My name is Peter Monena, also known as Barca DNA on Twitter, and welcome to further analysis and breakdown of the World Cup. We have a few more games that have happened, of course, since the last video on the United States, and now we have a couple teams that I want to talk about, of course being France, Spain, a bit of Norway, and of course, Argentina. Let's get to it. So, it's been a really fun few days watching the World Cup unravel, especially with some particular teams that deserved coverage. We've seen Germany destroy Curacao. We've seen Curacao score their first ever goal at a World Cup, and the celebrations that ensued across the world for them, really, in having that moment. We've seen France put on a really good show against Senegal, especially in the second half. What an entertaining game that was. We've seen Norway, Erling Haaland, score his first 2 goals of the World Cup, his first 2 goals at a World Cup for Norway. And then we've seen Messi do the unthinkable, the unbelievable, the seemingly impossible, as he continues to perform even at the ripe old age of 38, now soon to be 39. So really, what should we dive into first? I think I'll start first and foremost with the man of the hour, Lionel Messi. I mean, where else am I going to start? This guy just scored a hat trick at the World Cup. I mean, there's no way of putting his performances into a normal category. He has simply put a player out of this world, a player out of this universe. The way he operates at a high level, still at the age of 38, soon to be 39, it's simply put remarkable. It's unprecedented, and it's something we've never seen at this level. What I loved about Messi's performance today was it didn't look out of place. There would have been so many people who would have thought, well, Messi the past 2-3 seasons has gone to the MLS, he's gone to a lower level, and therefore when it comes to the World Cup, physically he won't be able to match the demands, he won't be able to be at his best, and you won't see the same Messi you saw at the 2022 World Cup. Well, any thought like that has been immediately shattered by the man himself. Messi today, coming off an injury, by the way, looked fresh, looked competitive, looked hungry, the desire was there, the motivation was there, the heart was there, and what wasn't there for Messi was the pressure. There was no pressure. He played with complete freedom, and that was clear in every single aspect of his game today. His passes looked sharp. His dribbling looked sharp. He was weaving through players as if they were there. He was pulling off nutmegs, brilliant passes, and then on top of that, his finishing was pure class. He scored 4 goals today. One of them was called off for offside, but Messi, every time he got in and around the final third, looked amazing. And likewise, not just him, but the whole Argentina team, it looked as if they could increase gears at a canter. Today, they won by 3-0, but it still felt like Argentina in this game could have probably still gone up at least 2 or 3 gears. And what I loved about this display is, obviously, you could look at a game like Germany against Curacao and say, you know what, it's tough to really gauge how good Germany are off the back of this game because Curacao, for example, is a much lower tier opposition compared to a team like Algeria, for example, or a team like Senegal, or a team like Ecuador. But what I would point to as a reference point in this game is the note that Algeria are a very good team. And not only that, they're a physical team, and technically, they're very good. I think when people look at the scoreline, they assume, okay, Argentina, walk in the park, easy canter. It wasn't that way for a long time. Algeria were in the game. They did create chances, and technically, I have to say, they were amazing. They looked really good. They put together some lovely passes, exchanges. My goodness, their players, when it came to dribbling, some of the most beautiful dribbles completed at this World Cup were done by players from Algeria. They were fantastic in tight spaces, and they really looked as if they were at the level of a CONMEBOL team. This felt like a game you would see in the World Cup qualifiers if Argentina played a Colombia or an Ecuador. Now again, are Algeria as good as those two teams? Obviously not, but that does not mean that this is a team without quality or that this was a guaranteed 3 points for Argentina. It most certainly wasn't. The only weak point for Algeria, for me personally, was in goal. I think Lucas Zidane, for me, did not impress at all. I think, for me, he could have probably done better with Messi's first goal, perhaps maybe even the second as well. And apart from that, he didn't really look convincing when shots were coming his way. With that being said, the rest of the Algeria team, without doubt, put up a good fight, and Messi, quite frankly, was just playing at a level that is beyond comprehension. A hat trick, his first at a World Cup, doing it at the age of 38, soon to be 39. He is still, by far and away, the best player in the world. And what's beautiful now is this World Cup allows his talents once more to be showcased on the world stage. And I'm sure that this performance has caught a lot of people by surprise. But for those who watch Messi, for those who've seen him week in, week out, all throughout his career, this isn't surprising. He's just that good of a player, it's not surprising. But all we can say is enjoy him while you can. Enjoy the beauty, the intelligence, the magic. Enjoy every ounce of it while you can, because you will never, ever in your lifetime see a player like this again. Now, moving on to France versus Senegal before Spain's game against Cape Verde. This was a really cool game to watch of how France took on Senegal here, because for me, Senegal are a very, very good team. And in my opinion, they matched France for a lot of this game, especially in the first half, where France, to be fair, were very flat. They were very, very poor. Lots of careless touches, poor passes there, very open as well at times defensively. And Senegal could have easily, if not for some crazy misfortune, taken the lead in this game. Nicolas Jackson was made to look like a world beater in the first half. He was really causing France all sorts of issues. Of course, there was a massive chance for Ismail Assar right at the end of the first half. That could have changed everything. A poor miss from him, and then France, after halftime, pulled themselves together, rose their level, and Olise, Mbappe, absolutely brilliant to watch. Those two, again, are on a plane of their own when it comes to combinations, synchronations. They knew each other inside out today, and it was so fun to watch those two playing off of each other. Olise, my word, he is going to have a phenomenal tournament. That is already set in stone. He is going to be one of the best players to watch at this World Cup, and he showed it today. Fantastic play. Mbappe gets his 2 goals. Great finish on the first one. The second one is a thing of beauty. Absolute class from Mbappe. Brilliant goal. And also as well, goal for Bradley Barcola. Lovely chip over the keeper. France winning out. Senegal got a goal back, but it really wasn't enough. A good start for France as well, as they also aim to really challenge for the World Cup once again. Likewise, for Spain, it was not quite as good a showing. They drew, of course, 0-0 against Cape Verde. Full credit to Cape Verde, especially their goalkeeper, Vicinho, who was absolutely mesmeric, 40 years old, and pulled out one of the best goalkeeping performances of all time. It was an absolute joy to watch, and to see him, emotions running through him, to see him in tears after full time, given how well he played, was just amazing. Now, Spain, of course, were not at full strength, at least in the attack, that is. Of course, no Lamine Yamal for the first half, no Nico Williams either. Both players coming off of injury. But nonetheless, that is no excuse for Spain to be as poor as they were in that first half. Lots of big chances missed, but also a sense that Spain just looked flat. They looked dull. They looked almost as if they were spineless. They didn't look as if they had any real dynamic structure of patterns of play to them compared to the likes of France or Argentina. Now, of course, things did change when Lamine Yamal came onto the pitch. Spain did look better, but it still was not the complete display that you were looking for. But it's early in the tournament. Spain will have more chances to gain rhythm, especially given that Saudi Arabia and Uruguay played out a 1-1 draw. And so Spain are still really in control of their own fate and destiny in this group, and likely will have chances there to recapture some form and age going into the rest of the tournament. Now, of course, the last game to discuss here is Norway's game against Iraq. Of course, Erling Haaland getting himself on the score sheet, a brace for him at the World Cup on his debut. What a sight it is now for the rest of the world to witness a player like Erling Haaland at the World Cup. And I say this, Norway are going to be a fun team to watch. For me, alongside the USA, Norway are also dark horses in this tournament and should be a really, really fun team to watch as they evolve throughout the group stages and in the latter rounds. They will be a threat, of course, when you have Erling Haaland, Swodloff, Odegaard, Nusa, players like that, Oscar Bob. They are going to be a threat to any team going forward. There is no question about that. I think the big issue for Norway is going to be, can their defense hold out? Can their defense and midfield do enough to give Erling Haaland the chance to win games on his own? Because if they do, I suspect Norway will go very far in this tournament. But that is your World Cup coverage for now. I wanted to break into a few games that I found really interesting. Of course, there are more games to discuss, whether it's Germany, Curacao, whether it's the upcoming fixtures tomorrow. But I wanted to address what happened over the past few days, especially amongst teams that I consider to be favorites in this tournament: France, Argentina, and Spain. And so that is your video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the ride. I look forward to seeing you all more so throughout this tournament. And so until then, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.